Put your hands together for Kyle Schiffner.
All right, how's everyone doing? Right, one more. One more. You got it in you? You got it in you? It's like a marathon. That's what this is. And as you can see, I've trained for a lot of marathons, so I know what it is. So it's just all about like training and like, all right, just one more. So just everyone, big breath, let it out. Holy shit. The garlic bread did very well today, I can tell you. So, okay, listen up, white people. Stop trying to touch black people's hair. Cut it out. They don't want you in their head. All the black people are clapping. All the white people are like, really? I didn't realize that was the problem. Stop doing it. It's unseemly. Nobody wants you. Haven't we done enough to African Americans for 400 years? Slavery, Jim Crow, the Kardashians. Enough is enough, people. But I didn't come here to mend race relations. I'm going to leave that up to the experts. Kanye and Tucker Carlson. They've got it handled. Everything is good. Like, how do we not see that coming? He's got a song called Black Skinhead. He was letting us know this is where it's going. But again, I'm here for all the dads. Where are my dads at? There's no way you're a dad. You're like 13. But well, you could be. It's Jersey. Excellent. Specifically, to ask you guys to stop giving us a hard time for spending all that time in the bathroom. Just get off our backs. We don't want to spend all that time in there either, okay? It's the worst room in the house. It's horrible lighting. It's cold. The seat is hard as hell. But see, that is the only place where us dads can get a little me time. Because everybody wants dad. All day long, it's dad. Dad, I'm hungry. Dad, I need help with homework. Dad, watch me eat a grape. It's constant. It is constant. So we go in there to just relax a little bit. Okay, because when we're in there, no one bothers Dad. You leave us alone in there. It's like, where's Dad? In the bathroom. Never mind. They don't know what we're doing there that long, but they know that they don't want to know. All right, I'm sorry. I just lied to you guys. I'm sorry. We just met. What kind of way is this to start a relationship? I lied when I said I was a dad. That's not technically true. I'm a stepdad. Okay, I've been a stepdad for 13 years to 2 kids. And I can see by the applause, you guys are very impressed with stepdad. No! Too late. And this is exactly my point. Because, I didn't think I ever wanted kids. It's not like I didn't like kids. It's just that, I'm a selfish guy. I like kids a lot, but I'm selfish. So if I'm reading a book, I want to read that book. I don't want to be interrupted 37 fucking times to turn a truck into a robot every hour. That's it. But here's what's weird about that, is that I actually really liked doing that. Not the actual machinations of the robot thing, but like when my stepson would come to me and hand me the truck, the look in his eyes, he was like, and I do Optimus Prime, and he gets it, and he looks at me like I'm Dumbledore. He is just amazed. And he takes Optimus Prime, and he skips off, goes, "Thanks, Kyle," and he runs off to do, it's sweet, right? He runs off to do Battle of the Decepticons, but I noticed you realized something. I said, "Thanks, Kyle." Not "Thanks, Dad." And I'm not going to lie to you, that sometimes is hard to deal with. And there may be people in this room tonight who are considering getting into the step-parenting business. So I'm thinking I'll give you a little tutorial to see if, in fact, being a step-parent is right for you. Okay, now, first of all, if you are an underachiever or lazy or not very motivated, you might be a great step-parent. Wait, because the reality is this. The reality is, like, step-parents are considered awful. Like, think about the step-parents through history. Like stepmothers. There's Snow White had the evil queen. Cinderella, the wicked stepmother. Melania Trump, all horrible stepmothers. All of them. And if for stepdads, holy shit, the bar is really low. All you have to do to be considered an amazing stepdad is don't date your daughter's best friend, and you are considered perfect. Perfect. But you have to understand something. It's that dad thing is hard. The last name is a hard thing to deal with because it happens all the time. You have different last names, and going to the doctor is really that's tough. It's like, oh, hello, Debbie, come on in. Doctor's ready to see you. Oh, you can come in too, Mr. Terwilliger. And you're like, and you're falling behind like a moron, like, no, it's not Terwilliger. A different last name is Schickner. I'm the stepdad. And they look at you with this like suspicion. But you think it's important to interrupt them, to let them know that you have a different last name. You think that's going to keep your individuality. But I promise you, that is a hill you should not be willing to die on. Because with that, you're tilting at windmills. Because in the end, it's not going to matter. It becomes easier to be a Terwilliger. It does. But flip side, okay? Because you're not blood related to these kids, you can cherry pick your way through their lives and take credit for all the good stuff. You see where I'm going with this? But and all the bad stuff you can just completely disregard. Like, oh, your daughter gets into MIT, early decisions. Well, I mean, do you have any idea how much homework I helped them with? Same stepdaughter comes home with a... Wouldn't happen at the Chuckle Hut. Where was I? Oh yeah, that same stepdaughter. She comes home with a Just Do It tramp stamp. Okay? Now you can say, well, her mother was always a bit of a slut, so it's in her blood. Not you. Not you. Your stepson, right? He gets first team All-State on the football team. Do you have any idea how many hours we spent in the backyard just tossing that pigskin back and forth? I mean, you know. You get a call from the principal. That same stepson, he lit the boy's bathroom on fire. I'm so sorry, I don't know what happened. His dad's a bit of an alcoholic. But just understand something here. Like, don't think you have any control. You have none. As a step-parent, zero. I mean, the reality is this, like, they may say you're in this together. Oh, no, we're co-parenting. We're doing this together. But your only job as a step-parent is to take as much misdirected anger and frustration from the kids, from your partner, from the ex, and just block them from any damage. Slings and arrows. And so kids, they know that early too. And kids are much smarter. Kids are smarter than we give them credit for. Much smarter. I mean, I remember, this is hard to talk, in second grade, because I know there's teachers here and I'm going to offend, I know Alexa, you're a teacher. We have to lie to our kids because they know in second grade that everything you learn is bullshit. 90% of it is irrelevant. Please, when was the last time, Carol, you needed to use an isosceles triangle? Exactly my point. Okay, all you need is see, I don't even know what the fuck it is. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. That's it. If you can figure out you got the right change from the girl Sonic, you're golden in life. But you got to lie to your kids. You got to tell them the whole time that, like, no, it's all important. You lie to them. Your parents lied to you. Their parents lied to them. It's what you do. You lie. You just lie. I remember my stepson was like 7th grade. And he was having trouble with homework, and he's doing Spanish, and he was so frustrated. He's like, this stinks. This is so stupid. When am I ever going to need to use this in real life? I hate this. Now, this is what we call a teachable moment. So, I sat him down. I said, listen. Closed his book. I said, listen. When I was your age, I was not very good at school. I only got to college because I was a football scholarship, and then I didn't even study. But to graduate, you needed to take a language for 1 year. And I didn't want to, and I complained to my parents, this is stupid. My mother's like, Kyle, you never know when you're going to need it. You don't think you're going to need it one day? All right, Mom, whatever. When she wasn't looking, I did that gesture. I'm not Sam. So I take the class. And our little professor was this tiny little Peruvian man. He was so cute. His little tiny little cheeks. You want to take him, put him up on a shelf so he can scare kids at Christmas. And I don't know what it was. I don't know, like somewhere in, you know when you go below the equator, when you flush a toilet, it goes the other way? I think that's how it is in school, because he didn't give a shit about cheating. Like, we all cheated the whole time, books open, yelling out answers the whole time. I ended up graduating A-. Got a couple questions wrong. I didn't want to raise any alarms. And I graduated without knowing a single lick of Spanish. And my stepson thinks I'm on his side. He's like celebrating. Yes, Kyle's the greatest. He now, he speaks better than tanks. And so, whoa, hold on. Fast forward 5 years. I'm in Europe traveling around with some friends. We're in Spain, and I decide to go take a little dip into the Baltic Sea. And I'm out there, and it's... The weather is perfect. The water is so warm. The mountains come right up to the sea, and I'm thinking to myself, this is the most amazing place on earth. Life cannot get any better than this moment. Just as I say that, in the corner of my eye, I see this stunning, tanned, topless woman floating in my direction. And it is a very deliberate float, okay? It's not the kind of float when you just go with the tide. No. She is floating towards me. So I start floating towards her. And this is good. So I'm floating. And she's floating. And she's floating and smiling. And I'm floating and smiling. And she gets close enough, and I'm like, it's a beautiful day, huh? And she looks at me. And I try something else. And she goes, no habla inglés. Espanol? Oh, we know I don't habla Espanol. We know that. Well, it's okay, because I'm an American. I'm cocky. Everyone speaks English in the world, so I'm not sweating it. And we're floating, and we're getting closer, and we're floating, and we're floating. And right now, she's like this. Did I mention she's topless? Did I explain that? So we are like this close, right? And I'm trying to say something, and she's not understanding me, and she's saying, and now she's getting frustrated. I can see it in her face. And now, this woman, she starts floating the other way. Away from me, towards a bunch of like 20-something, 20-somethings. She's going towards them, and these guys are clearly speaking Spanish. And I'm freaking out. I'm like trying to think of any Spanish in my, what the hell, fuck, anything. I'm like, Speedy Gonzalez, and that didn't work. I'm like, okay, no, Pica de Gallo, and she's like, I'm like, Chad Ocho Cinco, any fucking thing. And I look to the shoreline, and I'm pretty sure I saw my little Peruvian professor on the chaise lounge drinking a Mai Tai, giving me the finger. And I look up, and she's gone. She's gone. And I turn to my stepson. See, son. If I had just listened to my mother when she said you never know when you're going to need it, I would have fucked that Spanish girl. I am very proud to say, I'm very proud to say my son now is very fluent in Spanish, Italian, and French. And in Hindi, just in case. But the kids, it's so hard because they get older, and you look for those moments where you can connect with your child, whether it's a stepchild or a real child. You look for those moments, and you plan them out in your head. You have the script, and you're just waiting, and you've got different scenarios, and this will happen, I'll say this, and you're ready, and then the moment comes where she's gonna just be perfect, and she comes in the car, and you turn to give her this speech, and you look at my stepdaughter, she has a solitary tear just going down her perfect little cheek. Her chin's. She's trying to be so brave. And every fucking thing I plan is out of my head. And I panic and I say, you want to get ice cream? And I can trace my stepdaughter's issues with food to that very moment. An eating disorder in 3 words. Sometimes you take the L. But they grow up. They grow up and they end up, happy and healthy. More or less. My stepdaughter goes to Stanford. I don't have a joke here. I just use that in every conversation whenever I get a chance. Were you waiting for? I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. And I've gotten really good at it. So good that I can work it into any conversation. So, what did you do today? You worked. Where do you work? You work at a hospital. You know what's a really good hospital? Stanford. My daughter goes to Stanford. How about you? What did you do? What did you do this weekend?
Oh, I went to Charleston for a girls' weekend.
Girls' weekend. It's amazing. So my daughter is at Stanford. She has such good girlfriends. They're so great. And I can see when she's older, she's going to have girl weekends all the time. A bunch of Stanford girls just living it up. Anywhere. I mean, I could be getting a blood exam. For my prostate. I could be at the prostate doctor. I'm sorry. It's not good for me. And I'll be waiting and just looking around like, oh, Doc, I see you went to Johns Hopkins. That's pretty impressive. My daughter, she goes to Stanford. But they go off, and you send them off to college, and they're adults, and time is your own again, and that's now when you can relax. You can breathe easy. They're gone, and you've raised 2 great kids, and everything is perfect. You don't have to worry anymore, and you can just, right? Wrong. Now the fucking fun really begins, because now you don't hear from them. Now you don't know what the fuck they're up to. You used to be able to see when they're going down the wrong way, and you go, no, you want to do this, and you can't be their safety net anymore. You 3 in the morning, you're like, holy shit. It's my stepson remembering to put his deodorant on. Because he forgets. Sometimes he forgets. Who is going to watch my stepdaughter eat that grape? And you hear nothing. Zero, zilch. That's it. Nothing. I mean, yeah, you're going to get like these text bombs at 2 in the morning. Like, you ever tried cocaine? All tattoo parlors are basically the same, right? Have you ever? It's such a. Does Plan B really work? And you text right back right away. What are you talking about? No, Plan B doesn't work. Plan A is to not need Plan B. Send. Boom. And you wait. And you wait for a response. And you sit there and you wait. And there's nothing, Ella! Not even those 3 dots. And you're thinking, what the fuck? She just sent me this text 30 seconds ago. Where did she go? Is she okay? Is she in danger? Or, oh my God, is she doing something that in 20 minutes she is going to need Plan B? But it's, talking about it all, it's all worth it. It's all worth it. I got to apologize again. I lied to you guys when I said I lied to you. Because I am their dad. They are my kids. I was there for every milestone in their lives. I helped my stepdaughter. I taught her how to ride a bike. I put $5 under my stepson's pillow every time he lost a tooth. I held them to my chest as they cried into my shirt the first time they got their hearts broken. That stuff. So, If kids these days can have more than one gender, they sure as fuck can have more than one dad. When I first got in a relationship, a friend of mine once said to me, he said, "You know why they call them step-parents, don't you? Because they walk all over you." Fuck you. You know, I don't see it that way, guys. I don't see myself as being walked on. You know, how I see it is like, I am building a staircase, a bunch of steps, for my kids to ascend, to become better, more secure, more happy people. More happy than needing to stand on a stage somewhere in fucking Springfield, New Jersey, desperate for your laughter and applause. You know, they say you never forget your first time. And just like Lisa Precise in the 11th grade, I will remember each and every one of you tonight. I just hope you enjoyed it a little bit more than Lisa Precise did. I know it lasted a lot longer tonight. Thank you guys very much. You've been great.